25th of March, Rabbi Furst, Mishna Berura.
So let's see what it says.
Okay.
It says, Tov Levaer, Be'erev Shabbat, Kodem Chatzot. Okay, so it is good, I guess, to burn probably the chametz that we're talking about on Friday, Erev Shabbat, uh, before Chatzot, before midday.
Even though that chametz is mutter completely, absolutely on Erev Shabbos, it's really Yud Gimel Nissen, which there's no Isser chametz. But since we'll see in the Mishnah Berurah the day before, and you can't do it on Shabbos, so they push it up earlier.
Right. Okay, so before Chatzot. Kidei shelo yavau lit'ot b'sha'ar shanim levaer achar chatzot. Okay, and that is let's see, Kidei, in order that there will not be they will not come to mistake what the rest of the year to burn.
We don't want people to make a mistake that that people may remember that they didn't do Bedikas comments and the Shrekus comments. So we might make a mistake.
Oh, so that make them do it early so they don't make the mistake that they didn't do it.
Question is, what really what is the mistake actually that's being made here?
Okay.
What's the mistake?
Well, couldn't we say that since you can't burn the chametz on Shabbos, if you don't burn it at all?
Well, here we are burning it. I think the Mechaber actually is telling us what the mistake is. What is that? It's Toiv Levar Berev Shabbos Kodem Katzos Kadei Shelo Yivol L'Tois B'Shar Shanim Levar Acha Katzos. The question is whether or not you would mevar it before or after Chatzos. So therefore, it's good that you should mevar the chametz like you normally do on the regular year before Chatzos. So you shouldn't miss the mistake that in another year you would also come to maybe mevar it after Chatzos, which would be a serious difficulty, right?
Uh-huh.
Let's see the Mishnah Berurah.
Okay, so Kodem Chatzot, this is before Chatzot, Lavdafka specifically, V'rotzeh lomar, that is to say, B'tchila Sha'a Shishit, before the sixth hour, Kamo Sha'ar Shanim, like during other years, I guess. At the actual day of Erev Pesach. You're doing it the day before that.
Right. Since the day of Erev Pesach is in fact Shabbos, which it's impossible to burn any chametz on that day.
Right.
The the burning of the chametz takes place the day before, which is Erev Shabbos. So
Right.
even though there's no real necessity why you should do it early, but still, you don't want you to make a mistake and in other years maybe come to burn it after Chutzai. So we'll do it here as a fail-safe to do it best. Again, it's best to do it before Chutzai.
Right. Okay, good. Uviyom Shabbat Yivtileno. And we nullify it on the day of Shabbat. Kedil Kaman B'Seif Vav. Okay, as we'll see in Sif Vav. The Eino Tzarik Levatel Be'erev Shabbat B'Sha'ar Be'uro. Okay, so it's not required to nullify it on Erev Shabbat. B'Shad at the hour of what's Uro?
Of its destruction.
Oh,
The
of its
time of
destruction. Oh, okay. Uh-huh. Sof sof yihiyet tzarik levatel b'yom machar. And I guess so finally,
ultimately, finally,
or ultimately, we need to nullify it on the day machar after.
that would be Shabbos. You're
That
going
would be
to do it
Shabbos
on Shabbos.
itself. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Let's see. Shaharei chozer v'zokeh b'pat shayer l'tzarich hashabbat. So he
So
goes.
you're going to have to save a certain amount of bread for Shabbos, to eat on Shabbos. You have to be careful with that bread.
Right.
Make sure you're really careful with what and where you do with it and where you put it.
Okay. Shabbat. V'yesh lachosh shema yishaer mehem, because you might suspect or fear that there'll be a little left over.
And then what does that mean, second?
Hmm.
Yesh lo Shema Yishar Nehem. Says here, serve the local beer machar. Zoicher bepas. Zoicher bepas. Shemishar letzor Shabbos. Yesh lo Shema Yishar Nehem. And I'm not clear what that means. Yeah, right. Why? The question is, why do you have to? Why do you have to? You don't have to mivatal it on Erev Shabbos at the time of its destruction. So ultimately, you're going to need to mivatal it on Yom Kippur on Shabbos.
Right after you have.
Okay, you need to mivatal it because your chorzev is zoiche bepas. You mishtar l'tzor Shabbos. You want to have pas remaining for you for the needs of Shabbos, right? Since you want to have pas remaining for you, they should be able to eat it on Shabbos. That's a necessity. You want that. And we're afraid you might have some left over, right, for what you need for Shabbos. So you have to do a bittul on Shabbos for whatever comments might be left over that you saved in order for your meals on Shabbos. And now you have some left over. So you need a bittul for that.
Huh.
Like the mevatul. whatever remains from your needs for Shabbos. You have to
Right.
destroy it also. We'll put it down the toilet, whatever.
Yeah, that's what we did in the States. We were told to do that.
Right.
So, hmm. You have to be very careful to get crumbs all over the place. Okay.
Can bring us the Gimel in the Mechaber.
Okay, so it says, Achar shachol b'Shabbat ze sudat shacharit uh, yina'er hamapa she'achlu va'yikana or v'kanach maybe hakarot be'etzba'ot v'yit menaim min ha'ayin. Wow, this is long. Im she'os. I guess stop here for a second. So after uh,
That's usual.
one eats on Shabbat, uh, this
Actually,
Sudat in the morning, the morning Sudat.
let's go to the Mechaber in Sif Gimel.
Oh, I was doing Daled. This is Gimel. I'm sorry. Ay, 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 ay.
Okay.
Okay. Ein mival shin l'Shabbat zeh. Daisia v'kayote vazeh. Okay, so we don't cook for this Shabbos, I guess, dices, cereals, and similar items. Okay. The Ein Osimbo pot, and we don't prepare or make this bread. Hatsinuma vikara. I'm not Hatsinuma.
That was a certain type of. They would have hard bread, and you put a slice of hard bread in a pot, not in a pot, in a bowl, and add maybe warm liquids to it, and
Oh,
they'd have that as a meal. You don't do that on this shop.
oh, okay. So we don't do that. Make that type of bread, I guess. Okay. Let's see. Something pot. That's more. Okay. The Haggadah says, "Ve'im avar uvashel hama'achal davuk b'kedera ve'efshar likancho yesh lehaditcho ma'at lehavir hechametz." Okay. Okay, so if one of our of what did a transgression and cooked this, okay,
You're
uh,
not supposed to cook it. And if he's talking about like the dice is most closely associated to what we have, your standard cholent made with barley and beans and maybe kish and all that
oh,
kind of stuff. That's real chametz. Barley, oats, beans, chita, all that stuff cooked is real chametz. Kishka for sure, made from flour. You don't make that kind of a cholent on Shabbos, Erev Pesach. No,
oh,
I'm going to explain why.
that sounds like a cholent, just the potatoes and meat, basically.
Yeah, you have
Okay.
a basic plain potatoes and meat, onions, carrots, if you like.
Oh yeah, onions and carrots, a good idea.
Because I
Okay,
tell you,
so
most likely you're going to be cooking that in Passover kalim,
that's true
right?
too. Yeah,
So,
you wouldn't have your regular kalim out anymore. Hmm.
right,
Okay, so it says "V'hamachada avupikidera," and the food is attached to the pot or in the pot.
right. Because you know very well it's nice to
That's
the
for
king.
sure.
The food sticks very nicely to that pot.
Uh-huh. Okay. And the EF shar lit kancho. Okay, it's impossible, I guess, to clean it.
You
Uh,
see, you see why it's impossible to clean it.
okay, yesh lecha eto ma'at. What's uh
So, yesh lahadiko ma'at the barbecues, but there is you can like maybe rinse it out just to get rid of the chametz.
uh wow.
But you have a real mess on your hands. Sarah
No, you
Pasa,
do, because
Pesach, and you got this dirty chametz pot. And again, like I said, no one's going to be cooking in their chametz pots.
right.
I tell you, you do have an option these days. They have these hot pami pots. You've seen them around. They're
No,
like aluminum, hard aluminum pressed foil into the shape of a pot, even with tops on them. It is an option. Then you
oh,
could
so you
just
could use that.
throw that whole thing away. You can use that, but you got to even if it's dirty, you can simply just throw it away. Now, I'll just mention something about throwing things away. You're going to have, depending on how you set yourself up on Shabbos or Pesach, most likely you're going to have plastic tablecloths that might have crumbs in them. You might have forks. Again, we'll discuss the details of how the best way to eat these meals is going to be, but you can still have certain things you want to throw away. Now, there's no garbage collection on Shabbos, right?
Right, right.
Now, and really, likakili, you don't want your hummus to be in your rishus. So, if just briefly, if you're going to eat your meal, if you have your roll or whatever your pita that you can eat the first part of your meal, the night meal, and then your two meals with tortilla in the morning time. If you have a like a paper napkin spread out, and if you eat your bread, your chametz over that napkin, if you do your best to pick up all the crumbs, eat all the crumbs that come from the breaking of the bread and such, so any crumbs that might remain will be on the napkin. You just roll up, fold up, and crush up the napkin. And if you use a real papery napkin, then you could probably throw that down the toilet. Yeah,
Ah,
and that's the best thing with that. Um, if you buy these, I'll tell you the thing I've noticed. I don't know if it's 100% true, but I know the more fancy napkins are, the less practical they are.
it's true. They
You've
don't
ever
absorb
noticed?
anything.
Don't absorb anything. They're made of all kinds of different colored papers and with plastics and mixed in or whatever. They're very nice on the table, but when it comes to using them, they're not very practical. I never tried it, but I would imagine those kind of napkins are gonna have a very hard time going down your toilet. And I'll tell you something, it's happened. I know this has happened. Because it didn't happen to me, but I know it's happened to me. People on Erev Pesach on Shabbos with throwing out things, napkins and bread, challah into the toilet. Their toilets have gotten stuck and clogged. Right.
Wow.
And the last thing you want to do is have to deal with a clogged toilet on Shabbos and especially if it's the day before Pesach. Right. So If you're using napkins, you should get the most plain papery napkins that you could possibly have. And just as I said, any remaining crumbs that might be on the table, they'll be have fallen onto the napkin, and you just crush those up and throw them directly into the toilet and flush it down, and that should go down pretty easily. But stay away from all the fancy napkins. That's only going to do you in. And
Wow.
we'll talk more about the actual mechanics of how to eat these meals. Because another thing is when depending on how much chametz you actually have around, you want to get that chametz out of your house. You don't want to get the chametz out of your house. So you would normally take that to the garbage can. So that's okay. There are certain ways you can take garbage down out uh, into and throw it out. But the thing is like this, depending where your garbage cans are located, right? Normally on an Erev Pesach, there's the garbage people come around 2 or 3 times collecting garbage. So usually by the time Pesach comes in, there's no more garbage around. It's all in the garbage trucks. But a lot
Right.
of times, depending where your so-called semi-public garbage cans are, they may still be considered in your rishus. If you live in a apartment building with other people, the garbage cans may be located on the community property, and really you're responsible for chametz in the community property as well, to a certain
Oh,
extent.
wow.
So really, you should try and find a garbage can which is not in your rishus and is more of a public garbage can. If you throw it into a public garbage can, you're much more safe with doing that than throwing it into a garbage can that is in your public property, right? So you have a couple of weeks, 2.5 weeks or so, to look around where you want to dump any chametz garbage on Shabbos or Pesach, and the best choice would be something that's already in the Rishus Harabim, in the public thoroughfare, and it's not associated with your particular building. But we'll those things more as we go along.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Let's see the Mr. Brewer here. I would begin in if
So
button
that's
Yud Aleph.
Yud Aleph. Daisa the Kayotse Vazeh. So that's cereal, I guess, and things that are similar. Davar shed darcho ledavak
Right.
b'keli.
Right.
No, so these are things that could stick to pots.
Right.
Ki it's darech lahadi ham ha'achila mishum asur chametz. Okay, so because you need to lahadi ham.
When you need to rinse them.
Oh, rinse after eating because it's a sore to have chametz. Because the other thing is where would you rinse it?
That's another story, right?
I mean, if your sinks are already koshered for Pesach, okay, the asur kevan she'ein tzarich.
Or maybe you want to take them into the bathtub. Maybe you want to take them to the bathtub.
Ah, that's interesting. Okay, asur kevan she'ein tzarich uh, lechem
Right.
shu.
You have no need of them. These kalim are useless for you now, because now it's going to be you're approaching the Zman Isser. These are chametz pots.
Right.
For the remainder of Shabbos, you really have no use for these pots.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay. So there's no need for these pots. And this be Oto Hayom during the day, I guess. Uh, looks like Basiman Shin Kaf Gimel. Sifav, it's explained. Or to look at it.
Well, maybe we'll see that. Maybe we'll have a chance to look at that tomorrow. Maybe
Okay.
that's in
So
Hilchos Shabbos.
Yud Bet Ha Sinu Ma. You said this was parch. He says Yivei, which is, I guess, dried out, which is similar.
Right. So it's
Okay.
like dried bread. Mhm.
Dried bread. Okay, good. And Yud Gimel ve'ef shar likancho, and it's impossible to wash it off. Okay. De'im efshar b'ki Noach levad asur lahadiach shalot sorech. That if it's impossible, kinuach, I guess, to clean, levad by itself, sur lahadiach, it's forbidden to, what's lahadiach?
That's to wash out.
Oh, to wash out. Oh, okay.
That
That's
it's
not needed.
impossible to clean it. The im efshar b'kinuach, the vad asher la'adiach shalot tzorach. I mean, if you're able to clean it, somehow if you're able to clean it, it's usher that you should wash it without a need.
Oh, yeah, these rules, when it comes out, the Pesach comes out Motzei Shabbos, is very complex.
That's right. You're right.
Wow, unbelievable. Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, you
Yudal,
don't.
it said, yesh l'diach mat. But you nevertheless, Ramah says that yesh, if it's impossible to clean it out, it's possible to rinse it a little bit, to rinse it out a little bit to remove the chametz. What's that mean?
Oh, okay. So Lamar, that is to say, Rak B'Kdei Shiavor Hachametz. That's only what, enough to get rid of the chametz?
Right. You want to rinse down and out somehow. You want to get rid of the chametz from what's stuck to those pots.
Aha, Kedir Misayim, I guess as a
As he
conclusion,
as,
Misayim, at the end.
yeah, as he concluded, right?
Okay. Yafagav shehu shalot tzorech Shabbat, and nevertheless, it's not needed on Shabbat. Sherinan b'diavad mishum asur chametz. Oh,
Even though
sharinan.
even though it's really forbidden because you don't have a need for this for Shabbos, but because of the Yisrael chametz, they allowed you to do it, to rinse it out a little bit.
Uh-huh. Okay, mikol makom im efshar lahadiach al yad akum. And nevertheless, if it's possible, what to have a non-Jew do it?
Right. If you have a non-Jewish maid servant or whatever, let them wash the dishes. Let them wash the
Oh,
pots.
wow.
But again, you're gonna have to figure out a place where you're gonna do that. What, in the bath? Probably in the bathtub, no?
Yeah, I
Maybe
guess so.
maybe the bathroom sink.
Hmm. Adif im efshar b'kinuach, but still, if it's what impossible to clean, katvu haposkim, the poskim write, shetov sheyivashlu B'kelim chadashim hamukanim lePesach. Oh, it's best to get new dishes, I guess, in
Right.
mukanim in preparation for Pesach.
Yes, what is it? Customer posing shetoiv shibashlu b'kelim chadashim muchanim lePesach. And what do we gain by that?
Hmm.
Look, there's a dollar here in this chart C also.
Well, if you cook with new dishes for Shabbos right before Pesach, you're using probably Pesach or non-chumetz anyway, Pesach dishes or non-chumetz dishes.
Mhm.
As he gave the example of what's in the cholent.
Mhm. I'll tell you what, Mayor, make a note. Let's start you. We passed our time already. Let's make a note. Let's start your dalit again tomorrow.
Okay, very
All
good.
right? And we'll go through that slow. This is, as you said, these are complex and detailed halachas here, and then not only that, it's going to be very relevant to everybody. We have to work out exactly what you're going to be serving and how you're going to be eating, when you're going to be eating, how you're going to be cleaning. Like it's a whole program that we have to set up over here.
Right. It's very complicated. Hmm.
Oh, yes. Okay, so we'll work it out. We'll try and go through it again slowly tomorrow. Thank you for your reading, Mayor. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Well,
We'll
thank you
see
for
you
helping me out here.
Mayor.
Work to you,
Lord,
Lou.
have a good
Thanks.
afternoon, Lou. Have a, Mayor. See you both tomorrow,
Okay.
Mr. Chef.
Very good. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you too.